to create a drum sequence in Logic. Start by opening Logic and creating a MIDI track. The default MIDI track will create an electric piano sound. It is the next step to change that to be a drum sequence, and we can also change our tempo. So I'm going to change my tempo to around 85. I'm going to go into my browser on the left, and I'm going to scroll over to Electronic Drum Kit and find the Roland TR-808 drum kit. And I can do a couple different things here. I can right-click and create a MIDI region that is 1 measure long and go down into my MIDI editor. Oops. And I can then sequence my Okay, so I've made a backbeat, and I'll loop it out for 8 measures. Next, I'll make a new software instrument track. I can also use the plus sign here to add a track. And instead of a drum, I'm going to go make a bass line over here. Looks like let's see, so my basses aren't downloaded on this one, so that's funny. In your situation, you would have that. So I'm going to use a synthesizer bass, and let's try Astro Funk. Let's see what that sounds like. That sounds great. Okay. So I can either play that in if I record. Okay, so I make a 1 measure, or 2, I'm sorry, I made a 2 measure sequence here. If I go into my editor, I can change any mistakes I made. I don't really particularly like, and we can also do another thing down here. We can quantize. So I'm going to Command A to select all my notes, and then I'm going to go over here into the quantize function and hit the Q button to quantize them all. Now they're on the beat. And so I can also go in here and change any other notes here. If I hold down the Command key, my cursor turns into a pencil. Command will turn your cursor to a pencil, and then you can add notes. Okay, this play button will play only the region in question. If I go back up here and hit play, okay, now I can also work on editing the velocity values so that they're all kind of uniform. If I go down here to hit this button, I get looking for the velocity values. So if I go here to velocity, I can lower this velocity contour for any of them and make them all sound rather similar. So this sequence basically outlines a C minor triad. Keeping it simple allows me to add chords. So if I add a new track, and that's another MIDI instrument, I can change this to be some other sort of chordal instrument. That'll work. So I'll play that into there. So I'm basically making my own loops here. So if I select this one and listen to it, and maybe quantize it, go down here, look in my piano roll editor, Command A, hit the Q. Don't really care for that, so I'm going to move that over. Okay, so I've got a series of loops of different sizes. Notice that they're all multiples of one measure or two measures. So let's listen to how this sounds. Okay, notice I'm starting to add a little bit of effects, especially to my keys. My drums, yeah, we could add a little bit of that. Our bass, we could add whatever effects you'd like. If I go here to this area here, I can click and, oh, that's the EQ, excuse me. If you go down here, that's where you can get to some basic delay or some reverb functions of your DAW here. So if we go to chroma verb, you can make it have a little bit of reverb. You can go to a preset and find a large space. That's essentially how to sequence. So that's an 8-measure phrase that features drums, bass, and chords. Our assignment in Module 3 asks us to create 2 phrases of this size with different instruments and different effects. So I encourage you to do that. Have fun.